Hi, my name is Laura. I'm the owner and photographer of Firelight Photography here down in Austin, Texas. And today I wanted to talk to you about eloping. Now, what is eloping anyways? Historically, something maybe not too taken lightly, almost frowned upon. Usually you were kind of not telling anybody, running away to the hills and getting married in secret for various reasons. Nowadays, eloping is a little bit more common, and it's not something really frowned upon. There's not really a negative connotation with it. It's more so something where you two are going and having a very intimate wedding. So away from the traditional, 150 to 300 guest count. Maybe it's you and just witnesses. Maybe it's just the two of you and your, vendors as the witnesses. Maybe it's just a small group of people. But regardless, much smaller, much intimate, usually a destination, up in a national park, something like that, to give you an example. An elopement compared to a wedding, usually just the guest count. And sometimes I would say the number of professional vendors involved. Because granted, if you have your elopement up in the mountains, it's just you two and your witness and your photographer and videographer if you choose. You're mainly doing portraits, you're having fun, just the two of you. You're not having to have a caterer, a vendor, or a venue. Maybe you'll get your bouquet done. It's very small in that number of vendors and very small in the number of attendees. That kind of drives the difference there. Now, when you talk about an elopement, you kind of wonder what the ceremony's like. Normally the ceremony, it's a lot like the same. It's the two of you with an officiant. You say your vows if you want to with each other. Usually it allows you a little bit more time and freedom to have that moment with your significant other before you're getting married or while you're getting married, to really talk about what you love, you admire, you cherish. And after these vows, you can do something symbolic. You can dance later. And for the most part, you can just make the ceremony all about you, how you want, without kind of that time constraint of everybody sitting here waiting, watching me. On your elopement day, like I was starting to kind of say, you can do a various amount of things. Really, it's up to you guys. If you want to even go dance, bring your favorite song, put it on, and just, why not? Dance with each other. You can do some kind of symbolic, you have the little letters in the box. You can put those in. You can do all of those things in the privacy of it just being you two. Or heck, you can put, you hike up to this area, you can put up your tents, build a campfire, roast some s'mores in your wedding dress. How fun is that? You can do whatever you like. Go kayaking, paddleboard in your dress. That's the beauty of an elopement, is basically you can have the ability to make it the most fun day ever that you want, or the most beautiful day ever that you want. Basically, what you dream of and what you feel would be special for the two of you, without the constraints of having the timeline of catering to a kind of a processional amount of things. Doesn't mean you don't do it. If you want to have that cake, have that cake. If you want to have a dance, have a dance. You get to kind of pick and choose what's special to you and what will be a part of your day. Now, it's not always cheaper. It's cheaper in a sense of you're not having to think of, hey, I want to have a dinner for, 150 people. That will definitely bring down the cost. You might have to, pay for permits to go up in a national park, and that versus a typical venue pricing. That is a big difference. So while it may be cheaper in some aspects, sometimes I have couples where they would have been spending more on all the food for the catering for, 50 more people, and they just have a smaller group, and then they can afford that bouquet that they really wanted, or, the altar piece they really wanted. There's some beautiful things that you can bring to an elopement if it allots it, and it will be extra beautiful. You might not be saving as much as if you were to really trim it down, but that's up to you. You can choose where you want to spend that. So typically, elopements may be a little bit cheaper in the grand scheme, and I feel more importantly, it allows you to budget for the things that are really important to you. What do you wear to an elopement? I think this is the funniest question because I have some people that go, oh, I'm going to a courthouse elopement. Do I need to wear like a short dress? You can wear whatever you want. You don't have to, if you want to wear a shorter dress, by all means do. If you want to wear a white jumpsuit or suit in itself, that's fantastic. That's your style, rock it. I love dresses with flowiness, whether that be veil, there's new like sleeves. So that's probably what I would wear. Like you can go in what you feel most comfortable with. And that's also the beauty of elopement. You don't have to feel like you have to stick with something. And granted, I say that's the beauty of elopement. Honestly, if you're with me, that's the beauty of any wedding. You just do what makes you happy. If you want to wear that, great. You're going to look stunning. I always find that sometimes people feel like an elopement means you're not involving family, and that's very not true. If you maybe aren't that close to your family, it might be a kind of a nice option because you don't have that pressure of having them there if you want. But I find there's really many beautiful ways to involve your family in an elopement, whether that be the preparation of it, have your family write letters of advice or just love in general. And then when you're eloping, if you decided that you just wanted, you two up in the mountains in Switzerland, I'm going off, I'm going out there, and they can't make it. And you can read those letters on the mountainside in Switzerland. And trust me, that will be wonderful. And it will feel like they're there and they will be a part of your wedding day if you want it. You can always do Skype if it allows. You can do a video stream in certain areas. There are parameters that's not as possible. You can have a little dinner with them after the fact. Or you can bring them. I always say an elopement doesn't have to be just the two of you. It can be, the 10 of you. You and your significant other, your families, or those really tight-knit friends that you really want there. Bring them. Bring them. Make it something special. Especially if you go to a destination, maybe they're not going to go hike up, the 10 miles or wherever you want to get married. They can't physically do that. But you're going to come down and you guys are going to have a weekend of fun with your family and great memories in a beautiful place, maybe not all the way up there, but down, at an Airbnb or a camp spot. And that is a great way to celebrate with them and involve them. I'll write more in a blog post because there's so many ideas. If you want your family there, do it, That's, I think, the biggest thing of what I love about my job and just my personality for my clients and my couples. It's like, if this is special to you, do it. That's the big question. For your formalities like registering, your guests might ask for registry. You can still register. That is absolutely fine. You can always send out an announcement like, hey, we're eloping, but we want you to know because we cherish you. We would love for you to maybe celebrate with us at a different day or just, know that this is happening, celebrate either virtually, just, in your hearts for us. If you were so inclined, there is a gift registry. You can always offer that. Don't be worried about that. That is something that is up to you and your preference, and you have the ability to do, whether it's an elopement, an intimate wedding, an adventurous wedding, or a full-blown, 300-person somewhere wedding. It's totally good. You do you. Like I was saying, kind of to touch base one more time on the number. I feel like really that's the biggest difference. If you are going to have just the two of you, you have a little bit more ability. You might travel a little further. You might hike a little bit further. You might do something a little bit more remote. You also have the ability to do maybe a handful of people. I feel like we're entering intimate wedding territory once you hit about 15, 20 people. You're definitely hitting that intimate wedding territory, which is totally fine. Basically like a larger elopement if you want. Ultimately, my passion behind all of this is kind of a big movement. You've probably noticed that's probably why you searched, what is an elopement? Because it's this huge thing going on, especially with COVID. Micro weddings have actually become a necessity, where in the past, that wasn't, it was a fun alternative idea, right? But why I'm passionate about it is because I want the priority to be on you. We're starting to see a trend of, what's the most beautiful location you can do? These crazy beautiful mountainsides, these remote locations, and then it's heightened, becoming aware of our impact of the nature and the parks around us. And I just want to say that my passion isn't about beautiful locations becoming a trend for your wedding. Beautiful locations are great. I will suggest all of them to you. But my prerogative is that the wedding is about you. I've spoke on it before in my video. Just doing weddings for so long, I saw a lot of stress, a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of pressures. And I don't want that, and I always pride myself, through all these years, and I'm saying that as working really, really big weddings, that a lot of times couples came to me because I said, I want your wedding to be fun and relaxing. That is my goal. I aligned with vendors who had the same goals. So that way that was the case, and it can be done. I'm not saying you can't have that. And that's my whole thing with this. Whether you want to elope, whether you want a small wedding, intimate wedding, micro wedding, big wedding, whatever it is, my passion is that you make it what you want. If you want traditions, to do it. If you want your family there, do it. If you want to run away and go get married in the middle of the ocean, do it. Make it unique and special to you, because this is something beautiful and wonderful. And it is so great to be there documenting emotion. And I want that for you. And elopements are a beautiful way to bring that focus back in on you and your journey and your story. And so I would love if you reach out to me. I can kind of help walk you through this, and I can just be there for you, and it'll be super fun. I'm so excited for you, and just have a wonderful day.